It's a new year. You may be thinking about setting goals or resolutions or maybe picking a theme or a word for the year or something like that. Okay, we all do that. We all do that. But the thing of it is that most of us are picking things like maybe getting in shape or losing weight or maybe breaking a bad habit or just changing some character flaw we have or developing some new area of our businesses or earning a certain amount of income, all that kind of stuff. How many times have you really followed through and done those things? Most of us don't do a lot of that stuff, and it's probably because those goals don't really make our souls sing. They're not exhilarating. If we achieved them, we wouldn't be like giddy, just over the top, at least not for very long. It'd be like, oh, cool, I did that, and you celebrate, and then, what's the next thing, right? Have you done that before? I know I have a lot of times. I've, published 27 books and had Amazon bestsellers and, met my big monetary goals or even got my ideal weight. And those things, they bring some happiness for a time, but they're not long lasting. And I believe it's because we're not going for what really makes our soul sing. That thing that would make us just live in joy, that just keeps on giving and giving. And let me give you an example. This is one of my unspoken goals. One of those things I thought were completely impossible. I never bothered to write them down. Didn't even bother because it just seemed so impossible, but I really wanted it. It was a deep desire from childhood on. When I was 5 years old, my mother got me taking piano lessons. And I love music, but piano lessons weren't my favorite thing to do. Mama had to make me practice, and she wouldn't let me quit. And my piano teacher taught me how to play by playing exactly what was written on the page. You didn't vary from what was written on the page. She introduced chords briefly, but that wasn't her thing. You just play every single note exactly as it's there. And so I became a very good parrot of what other people had written, but not very good, well, not good at all at expressing anything within me. Now contrast that with my Granny White. My Granny White played in silent movie houses back in the 20s. And she played that old ragtime. And she didn't read music. Granny had an ear, and she could just make that piano rock. Man, she was good. And so we'd sit around and we'd listen to Granny play, and there was something inside of me that's like, I wish I could play like Granny plays. Because Granny wasn't just having to parrot what everybody else said. Now, I didn't really realize that. I just thought, I want to play like that, right? But in retrospect, as I look back at it, Granny was expressing something inside of her. That music was uniquely Granny. It had her, fun, let yourself go sort of personality coming through in that music. And I didn't know how to do that. So fast forward, I'm in my late 40s going through a divorce, and there was just something about just letting things go that I would sit down and just play the piano and play whatever came. And it wasn't half bad. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was pretty good. There was something in me that did want to come out. And so I started doing that a little bit off and on, but didn't do a whole lot with it. And then when my mother passed away, when she was dying, I began doing it again and expressing so much of what I was feeling through the music. And then I went to live with my dad for a time after Mama passed away, and my cousin, who's a singer and songwriter, started getting Daddy and me out we'd play the music, whatever instruments that we knew, we would sing. He got me singing, which was another thing that I always wanted to do, is be able to stand in front of a group and sing a solo and not feel embarrassed by that. But that too felt completely impossible. I mean, I sing in the car, I don't sing in front of people is what I would tell myself. But I wanted to be able to. But he got me out singing solos, and he got me playing the piano. I learned enough of the chords and how they worked from him that I could play the chords and I could sing. The next thing that happened for me is I'd always wanted to learn how to write a song, the words and the lyrics. But again, didn't write these things down, didn't put them on any vision board, nothing. They're just too impossible to even bother writing down, but I really want to do it. So he got me learning the music enough, and then one morning I woke up in a dream. I had a complete song. The lyrics and the music came after this dream within about 30 minutes. And I was able to write it down and get the music figured out on the piano. And it was just like up till that day, that was probably the most giddy day I have ever had in my life of just, this is amazing. And it stuck with me. That feeling of amazing confidence and also this feeling of joy of being able to fully express something inside of me that wanted to come through me. It's almost like I'm not creating it, it's coming through me, it's flowing through me. And that is exhilarating. That is completely exhilarating. So as the time has passed, I've started to learn the chords and learning more of the mechanics of it, taking some jazz training, and I'm just having a ball. It is so much fun, and I am this close to playing like Granny. I have learned what she did. I've been able to study videos of her playing, and I've learned enough of the chords that I know what Granny's doing. And I am confident that I will be able to get good. And I'm able to do it. I just got to get the speed up. And so it's so much fun to not only learn the styling of my Granny, but also to understand that what I really was longing for was the self-expression. To be able to convey that deep thing that wanted to come through me and to have the tools and the mechanism to do that. And that's really what I'm all about in life, is helping people express that divine within them. If you feel like there's something that wants to come through you, let's talk. Hop on my calendar and let's talk. And let's see what that is. That's what it ought to be for you in 2019. That's the thing that you ought to have for your New Year's resolution this year, is to express that deep thing inside of you that's uniquely you. That is what's going to bring you the true joy that you're looking for in life.